Lijiang Tower. And you know what we've seen, speaking of Bastion, we've seen a lot of it on defense from Korea on this map. And if NA ends up in assault or in attack rather, they should be aware of that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We've seen a couple of times now Korea has liked to run the Bastion. They played mind games against Finland by moving it around up on the top side. They baited them into a blind hook, which got a Winston instead. Yeah. So it has been a bit interesting. It looks like that is not what we are going to be seeing here. Perhaps playing against the US, they might be expecting that. Also, USA has been using a lot of Genji from Seagull over the course of the tournament, so may not want that, or maybe expecting potentially that Genji pick to come out. Gods.
One of the things that it's a Hydralisk skull. Wow, I hadn't noticed that before. That's awesome. Yeah. But you're totally right, because South Korea we've seen has been very good at knowing what their opponents run, and so seeing Aron on that Genji now rather than the Bastion, knowing that on the USA side rather, they do run the Genji, doesn't surprise me too much. It looks like God's gonna be starting out on that Widowmaker, something we've seen a little bit more of lately.
And interestingly, Pharah Mercy composition coming out. So this is a long-range composition, and there is no McCree on the side of South Korea, so they may have some trouble dealing with this. Not a lot of long-range poke. Eska and Arhan going to have to be accurate from range, and we already see Miro up top.
Yeah, Miro diving in there right away, has to back out as he takes a lot of damage. God's just looking for some shots, but not getting in just yet. So if they can get the picks, America might be able to get onto the point pretty quickly, but that's a big if. You know, you need to get those picks. Seagull is on that Genji. Gonna get chased off the top away by Miro, but no, he's not going back. Finally jumps down. Has to play a little bit safe. Miro is one of the best Winstons we've ever seen.
Yeah, and it can be tough. They have these 3 DPS heroes. These have been the compositions that the USA likes to run, so they're poking their way up to some ultimates right now. God's actually going to switch over to the McCree. Widowmaker not giving him very many angles there into the point, as South Korea was playing pretty far back. Seagull finding a flank now with the Genji.
Yeah, be more like Steep Gull right now. Miro on his own though, pops that primal rage, takes out Stare, and already USA in a bit of trouble. Gods goes down, and Miro already that one-man army. A little bit of support from the team, of course, but South Korea defends the first big engage of the round.
Well, they got caught in the small room. Tailspin comes in with a big barrage, though. Does get hit by the sleep dart and taken out by Arhan.
Yeah, he takes down Tyrone, but he didn't get a whole lot otherwise, and South Korea will hold strong for the moment. Tyrone on that Lucio, not going to take a long time to get back to the point anyway.
That was a huge investment by USA, too. Yeah. They used the nano boost and the barrage there onto Tailspin. Was shut down pretty rapidly by Jae-Hong's sleep dart. So, nice ult advantage coming in. Just a little bit of one here for South Korea, but here we go.
All right, Seagull getting in there, trying to make a play. Goes on to Jae-Hong, takes him down on the point now, looking for both supports. Tyrone in trouble. He gets taken out. Seagull getting some time by himself, but he's got to worry. Here comes a Winston. Miro only at about a third health, though, so he's going to have to play it safe, too. And South Korea, after losing a couple, they lost Zumba as well, is going to have to try to fight back to take back the point, but it looks like the US lost just enough that South Korea should hold it.
Yeah, we just saw Miro going up towards the health pack right there. Eska buying time with the wall and the ice block, drops his ultimate just to get a few more seconds. Now South Korea going to be coming back. Arhan going to find Seagull in midair with the dash.
Yeah, Genji v Genji, and Arhan known for his Genji play for months and months in South Korea. Barely survives that engagement, but South Korea still holding point A, and to get a full hold on Anubis would be huge. You don't see it a whole lot, but they're on track. Only about 1:20 left for USA.
And we have seen South Korea do this in their match against Finland. They did manage to actually pull off the full hold just barely, as we did see Finland becoming very close to full holding South Korea. Did go to overtime.
I mean, I think we're going to need to see Adam get a huge res on that Mercy in a big, long, protracted fight. If they're going to take this point, it's just not going to be easy. They've taken a little bit more of a passive comp with the Pharah Mercy. Now they're going in. We'll see what they can get. Barrage dropped in. Takes out Eska right away. Gets Simba as well before the sleep dart lands. Aron, though, trying to strike back. He's got the nano boost. We'll see if he can tie things up in terms of kills. Going after the Mercy. Adam does go down. Miro with the kill there. And South Korea, it looked a little bit scary early on, but they will hold. Aron pulls out the Dragon Blade to try to finish things up. Miro gets the kill onto Seagull, who has swapped over to that Zarya. Meanwhile, though, USA gets 3 people on the point. South Korea may have over-pursued a little bit.
Yeah, they went way too deep right there, Doa, and they wasted the Genji ultimate trying to take out the Zarya. So they kind of got back-capped right there. Miro does manage to get back in time, takes out one, Mercy down.
Oh, Blizzard, can South Korea hold it? Gonna be tough. Gods gets eliminated by Eska, who gets back. After dying, there's a Graviton Surge. Tailspin will go down, and South Korea looks like they might be able to hold on here as 2 seconds, 1 second. If they can take out that last Zarya, they might be able to do it. Sir goes down, there's a Graviton Surge, but no follow-up really for the US. Sound barrier comes in from Tyrone, just trying to keep South Korea healthy, and as overtime ticks away, it will be a full hold for South Korea.
Yeah, that was a very close end to that game, nearly getting there into the overtime on the back cap, but everybody respawning on Korea. And without the Zarya there, they got one more elimination, and the rest of Korea flooding back into the point. So close, actually very close, nearly a cap there for USA at the end, but they couldn't hold it out. And Stir had a nano boost onto a low Winston at the end of that fight onto Mezzer. Maybe would have been better to put onto the USA Zarya player right there who had a little bit more HP to work with, because even through the nano boost, Mezzer was killed nearly instantaneously.
And while we wait for the teams to get set up for that next round, let's see what Eska had to say about the tournament so far.
투표로 뽑혔을 때 사실 처음에는 워낙 또 쟁쟁한 선수들이 많았기 때문에 걱정을 많이 했어요. 안 뽑히면 어떻게 하나. 근데 또 막상 뽑히니까 일단 너무너무 좋았고 무조건 잘해야겠다라는 생각만 들었어요. 당연히 우승을 하면 좋겠죠. 블리즈컨 우승이라는 커리어가 엄청 큰 거잖아요. 그렇기 때문에 꼭 우승을 했으면 좋겠어요.
All right, well, Eska is such a big part of what's made the South Korea team so good. He's looked great in Korea as well on Lunatic High, and certainly a player to watch out for. He does get overshadowed a little bit by Tyrone playing the Symmetra, Arhan on the Bastion once in a while, Miro on that Winston, but watch out for Eska, man. He makes the plays.
Yeah, he definitely does. Just fantastic McCree player.
Yeah.
And let's see what the setup here is for USA. So God's going to be back on that McCree, a hero he did very well on. Was pretty successful even in their loss to Russia, and shutting down Shadowburn on that hero. So pretty standard composition though. For the first point defense, they are going to have the long range from McCree as well as the zone control from the Mei. And Korea looks like they may be going for a Tracer Genji Winston dive composition here. Can they get into the back line and take out Stir and Adam quickly?
We see a lot of this from South Korea. Eska's played quite a bit of Tracer in his career as well. Aran again on that Genji. That is his main. And we'll see if South Korea can make some progress on the point as USA setting up defensively on that platform. Eska backs off for the moment. Jaehong coming in, a threat in himself on that Ana as well. Jaehong, yeah, like I said, getting the kill onto Gods right away. Tailspin, though, getting the revenge kill onto Arhan. And we'll see if Eska can hold this point, getting a little bit of time already as USA in trouble as Mira takes down Adam.
But Gods' positioning there was the big problem, Noah. He was out in front and immediately picked off with the help of Jaehong. So that's a huge kill, and that's just going to lead to an immediate cap here in favor of South Korea. Ult already up from Miro, who is getting a lot of damage down the front line, and he's just going to primal range and knock everybody off the point. Gods tries to get in, but is shot down immediately, and that's it. Map 1 goes to South Korea.
Well, what can you say? I mean, they look dominant on defense, they look dominant on offense, and I think the USA is going to have to do a little bit of thinking, a little bit of plotting if they want to have a bit more luck on our next map. Strong start for South Korea.
Jaehong hit a great sleep dart in the front line, right onto Gods, and once that first pick was completed, it was just a snowball effect immediately afterwards for the rest of the South Korean team, and they were, USA just couldn't get back from the point fast enough, even after some of those positional swap or hero swaps.
Yeah, and Seagull and the rest of the guys looking a bit in shock, and while they try to get themselves back together again, let's learn a little bit more about these guys.
The guys on Team USA are feeling a lot of pressure. All of them are professional players and have huge fan bases behind them. So I know they're going to be pressing that home team advantage.
Being chosen as captain for Team USA is honestly an honor. BlizzCon is an American event, and there's probably going to be cheering for Team USA, and we feel the pressure, and we don't want to lose.
It's awesome to be here representing USA. Everyone on the team is great. Everyone's just having fun. Everyone's putting in the work to play together really well.
I know we have what it takes to win. The team has been awesome because most players already play a specific role. Determining who plays what hero basically just comes super natural. Everyone knows what to do on the heroes they play because they've been doing it for a long time.
We came together as sort of like a ragtag group of individuals from across different teams. We have Tailspin from Envious, Mezzer from Team Liquid, myself from NRG, same with Gods, and then you have Adam from Cloud9.
Team USA is big on adaptability. These guys can switch heroes at any moment, so look for big plays and clutch switches. I cannot wait to see these guys play together.
The chemistry in Team USA is incredible so far. In practice, I have never seen a team come together so quickly.
Deciding what lineups we want to use was kind of interesting. Everyone kind of knows what to do right off the bat.
There's always a couple different aspects to what makes a player proud. There's one, results, so we want to win. But the second one is we want to do it in a way that kind of shows our strengths.
Everyone can really play everything on the team, so if we run into any trouble on any maps, we can just quickly go over who can play what, who can switch to what.
I want to be creative, I want to be artsy, I want to come out with some cool stuff, make the fans cheer for us. I want to put on a good show.
All right, well, it's time, Monte Cristo, to move to Eichenwald. And South Korea has pulled out some pretty crazy strats on this one defensively. Remember, this is the map that we saw the Symmetra multiple times. That we saw the Bastion
every
multiple
time.
times. We saw the Torbjorn one time, but that was a memorable time.
Yeah, South Korea looks like Tyrong not going to be playing the Symmetra. He did play it against Finland, so
they're on attack right now.
Yeah, they are on attack too. We'll see it when they come back on the other side.
That's right.
So God's going to be switching it up to the Roadhog.
And we've seen him do just fine on that Roadhog in the past too, so not a bad switch, as they will just run that triple tank along with Tailspin on the Mei.
Yeah, this is a composition very similar to ones that we saw from Finland in the last series up against Spain. And South Korea at least not showing a Reaper right now. That is a tool that is very helpful. Difficult to run a Genji against what the US is showing. Arhan flipping it up. Offensive Bastion against these big tank targets would be pretty effective as long as he doesn't get hit by a Roadhog hook.
Yeah, we've seen him do it before, but he is going back to that Genji for the moment. I mean, we've seen them do this before as well too. A lot of poking, build up some ults, then go in there with Miro on that Reinhardt, have the Genji and the McCree kind of come from the side. They've taken the point pretty quickly with that strategy in the past. We'll see how well it works as they get started. Arhan, of course, up on that bridge. He's trying to build that ultimate up with the left click.
Yeah, it does have to fall back down as the Roadhog hook comes off cooldown, so they are going to try and get into a flank position here. Gods is sort of tied up, and the Genji not giving him an opportunity to get the hook, but Eska is going to go down to Seagull.
Tyrong taken out by Tailspin, gets left immediately. A little bit of support revenge from Jaehong on the side of South Korea, but losing Tyrong will slow this push to a crawl for South Korea for the moment.
Yeah, the problem for South Korea right now is, yes, they have good poke, but they're basically just building up stirs on ultimate.
Wow.
Miro going to come in with a charge, though.
Yeah, Arhan takes out Gods as well. There goes Stair. Arhan pulls out the Dragon Blade, and I think USA is in a lot of trouble right now. Seagull on the Zarya, not going to last too long. Against Arhan, it looks like South Korea is going to take point A and get that payload rolling.
Yeah, and they got the Ana ultimate just up so quickly on Jaehong. I'm a bit surprised because with all that poke, Stir should have probably been able to have his ultimate up first because South Korea wasn't killing anybody right there, and the heals definitely could have been coming through. But we are going to see the first push now as they move into point 2.
The thing about Jaehong, though, is that he is probably the best Ana I've ever seen.
Yes.
You can nerf that guy's ultimate as many times as you want, but he will always build it up quicker than everybody else. So not too surprising to see him grab that, but let's see how far they can push this payload here as we enter the escort portion.
Arhan is back on the Bastion, so...
Yeah. This may surprise some people. If you've been watching this tournament, it really should. There's a Graviton Surge trying to set it up for Miro on that Winston in the back. They dropped the sound barrier, though, and that'll keep USA fairly safe for the moment, bringing some kills in, and they'll hold the payload for the moment.
Yeah, Tailspin going to find the kill onto Arhan right there as well, so easy push back for them. And that was a really nice sound barrier. One of the problems I think Adam has been having so far in this tournament has been timing sound barriers well. That time manages to nail it, and that really helps them give the defensive stats they need to turn the fight around.
Yeah. Jaehong looking for some targets. It's high noon, though. Let's see if they can get anybody with it. Jaehong has that sound barrier protecting him, but there's a Blizzard coming in for USA as they try to push South Korea back even farther. Seagull on that Zarya doing a great job of forcing out SK. There goes Jaehong. And it looks like the US will hold for now.
Yeah, Arhan couldn't do anything, walled in and then hit by the Blizzard, so just taking advantage of the limited mobility that Bastion offers a nice cleanup here. South Korea having trouble pushing through to this second point on Eichenwald.
You know, we have criticized South Korea in the past for doing things like that. Aron pops that configuration tank, though. The May wall comes up, trying to fire through it. He's got the nano boost on that Bastion as well, looking for some targets. Finds Messer, but not finding anybody else just yet. But it looks like it's enough to get the payload moving.
Yeah, Arhan has used that trick before with the nano boost and the configuration tank, just rocket jumping either through or over the May wall, and manages to make it work right there. Sets up on directly on top of the payload right now and starts trying to deal with this. Stur gonna hit a nice sleep dart, so that'll buy a little bit of time.
Can you really put a robot to sleep? I question the lore of
Hey,
that
I can
one.
put my computer to sleep, Noah.
Okay, all right, that's true. It's a sleep button. All right, well played, sir. Touche. Aron, though, does get the kill on the Tailspin. Gonzo has that sound barrier as he goes in and tries to get a bit of revenge on Miro. He's got that pulse bomb. Primal Rage, though, popped by the Winston as he opts back over to the payload. Messer just trying to defend it. There goes Miro, having to reset there at the end, as South Korea needs to get this going again.
Yeah, again, though, maybe a bit of a waste on the nano boost right there. Nano boosting Tracer, very rarely an effective idea, even if you are going to get the extra damage from the pulse bomb. They did have a Reinhardt available and probably didn't have to use it at all, but they do push them back, do force the Primal Rage out, and that'll be a reset as they go more on the offensive.
Yeah, dropping that Graviton Surge now and going to try to find some more follow-up on that. South Korea, though, the ones getting the kills, and they're going to try to move this payload again. Ezra out of the action for the moment here. They're going to take down Adam. And right now, the tough thing for the United States is that they're getting split spawn pretty bad. It's going to be hard to set up any sort of defense before the door. And oh man, they find Stare the back lines. And that is a serious split spawn now for USA. People coming back to life at different times makes it really hard to organize a good defense.
Yeah, they're going to try it anyway, though. We're going to drop the Winston shield right in the front. And what can Team USA get done? How long can they hold?
Well, Jaehoon took out a Tailspin already. Earthshatter coming in. And we'll see if South Korea can keep it moving. Arhan on that Genji nearly has that Dragon Blade. May not even need it as he takes down Stur. Adam goes down as well. There goes Seagull. And South Korea will finally break through the gate.
And this is going to be a good push for Korea, Noah. Sometimes, if you trickle in one by one to this third point, or the second point rather on Eichenwald, you can give up a big push right now.
Yeah.
See how much they can get out of it. USA is going to be defending right at the doorway. And can they just last long enough for the portcullis to close?
Oh, Tailspin with a nice move on the side there, but he took so much damage he really couldn't pursue after Eska. Now the Dragon Blade gonna force the ice block right away from Tailspin, and we'll have to catch up to see what Arhan can get done with that. Kills coming in, Tailspin does go down, God's taken out by the Ana. Jaehoon grabbing one, sound barrier onto USA, maybe a little bit late as Arhan continues to clean up this team. Meanwhile, though, the backline Messer did slow up the payload for quite a while, so South Korea not making a ton of progress initially, even though they were winning that fight, but now it's moving pretty fast.
No ultimates. USA through the kitchen sink in South Korea right now, and they've got Jaehoon with the nano boost, and they have the Deadeye to create a zone in the throne room right here. Gonna fall back a little bit, try and open up with some shots. Nice fire strike.
Wow,
on to
Tailspin
Eska.
on the Winston now. Getting really aggressive, swapping off of that May. Eska does have that Deadeye. We'll see if he finds a chance to use it. It's a little bit tougher on this third point. But South Korea having to back up all the way out of the castle.
Oh, Zuba, nice hook there to catch the Zarya. That gives him another pick. So they delay the push here from South Korea pretty significantly. And I'm a bit surprised that Korea didn't try and push more aggressively forward with that Deadeye. But it was a solid engage from the USA. They took out Miro nearly immediately.
It just didn't seem like they had the shields to keep Eska safe on that McCree to go for that Deadeye play. I would imagine we're going to probably see something like that as they move back into the castle now from the right side here. Eska again, waiting for that ultimate. Graviton Surge used though by USA. Trying to get a big play here as Seagull gets a couple kills. And yeah, looks like the USA on the back of that whole hog from Gods should be able to push back South Korea again.
And this should be a hold actually for USA, though. I don't think Korea's going to make it to the third point at this time. They actually used the sound barrier, but because it was a great combination from the Zarya ultimate and the whole hog from Roadhog, they just melted through that overshield and managed to pick up the kills anyway.
South Korea has swapped Eska over to the Reaper now, which I think is a good change. The Reaper generally doing a little bit better in this third part. And wow, Graviton Surge Azuma goes in! Big aggressive move by South Korea. Will it pay off though? Looks like it is so far. Kills coming in. There's the Dragon Blade, the nano boost on Arhan, and they absolutely wreck USA. South Korea will push, man. Just when these guys look out, they do something like that. Nobody expected Zuma to come from the top.
Well, Adam didn't even have time to cast his sound barrier right there. They really needed that ability, and USA should have committed to that when South Korea walked into the room, made sure that they got that ability out because they would have been able to weather the storm.
Well, USA can still hold. It's not the end just yet. They've got to try to make this work. They've got the nano boost on the Mei. Interesting choice there. Adam gets a kill on the Miro, though. So one from South Korea down, one crucial one, and it looks like as the time ticks away, maybe they'll be able to hold. Eska, they need this Death Blossom to be big. He gets one, but he doesn't get any more. Meanwhile, the teammates for USA doing work on South Korea, and it looks like they're going to be able to hold. Bezer gets the final kill on Nara. There goes Eska, and US holds on point 3 IG ball. 2 points for South Korea.
They get 2 points and they get a good push on round number 3. Not quite to the very end. So there's still a good shot here for the USA to kind of come back and make it work, go for the full push. But man, that third point can get so hard to push at times.
It really can. And you know, when you push it that far, it's almost like getting 3 points as well. And as we switch sides here, let's actually, okay, I'm being told right now that this would be a great time, guys, to maybe, I would say, vote for who you think would be a great MVP in this match. We saw some really good play, I want to say, from Mezer there. So if you go ahead and hashtag T-Mobile MVP, they will pick that up, and you can choose to get a little trophy to one of your favorite players.
Potentially.
Mezer's my MVP for that map so far, man.
Yeah, good stuff from USA. I'm really glad they were able to hold that. I was really scared for them for a little bit when they didn't actually get that sound barrier off, but the respawns came through, and South Korea couldn't quite push it to the very end. But still looking strong. I do think we'll be heading into the next map shortly.
Yep, that's right. I think it's time to swap sides, and we will see if South Korea can maybe hold on just a bit more. I think this one could certainly go to the third map.
Absolutely.
It all depends on who's prepared. Are you prepared, Monte Cristo?
I am not prepared for this.
Oh, I'm prepared. Well, at least one of us is. I love Arn. He always uses that "you are not prepared" spray. Whenever you see a big team fight win, keep the camera on that guy. He'll spray it right at the end. Well, South Korea now on the defense, but no funny business here, man. No Symmetra, no Bastion. Looks like they're going to play it straight up for the first time in this entire exhibition match.
Yeah, I like that Eska's on the McCree too. They don't want any more of that long-range Pharah or sniper play that we saw coming out on Anubis from the USA. So at least they have a long-range option now to help keep them down. Firestrike going to go through the doors right there. Yep.
Jaehoong already trying to do some work, but Gods comes in for the early kill. Seagull very low, has to wait out that biotic grenade, but he's going to join the action again pretty quick. To lose Jaehoong is crucial.
That is huge.
That is an ult they need to build fast, and they are not going to have it.
Interesting that Jaehoong was in that situation. Arhan having a bit of difficulty now getting away from the Winston, and indeed Mezer will take him out.
Yeah, Seagull looking for some victims himself as well. Mezer on that Winston looking good. Actually, the USA pushing this point A so fast. There goes Eska. And South Korea in tatters. They have to fall back. They have to just give this point over.
Yeah, they do, and the pursuit just keeps on going, and the point is being held. 3 members. Tyron will go down to Seagull, and it was really off that first kill onto Jaehoong. Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
They're going to walk in with a bit of an ult advantage as we head into the castle portion, the second point here on the map. High ground taken so far by Korea, but Tailspin challenging on the Tracer.
Now, we knew that Seagull would basically have to become highlight video Seagull in this match for the USA to win, and he did it so far this map.
Absolutely. Oh, nice find there.
The Tracer.
Very sneaky from Tailspin. And we did see Arhan already get low from the first Tangle Tracer. No heals there. Stop him up.
Yep, Seagull there. Miro trying to jump in and cause some trouble on that. Winston has to escape immediately. The payload keeps moving for the moment here. Simba has that shield, obviously. Sorry, they can give over. Eska trying to do some work with that McCree on the top. And you gotta watch out for that Miro. Seagull gets a nano boost, gets a Dragon Blade out. Let's see what he can grab. Eska got 5! I think he got 5!
Eska with an enormous Deadeye. He dropped off when he saw the Dragon Blade from Seagull coming in. And he just slaughtered USA.
How in the world did that happen? I mean, USA doesn't have the Reinhardt shield, but man, let's check it out. Okay, here's a replay. And we gotta find out. Whoa, whoa. And Eska's very good at walking back. He's got the Michael Jackson thing going on there.
Very good at rewinding in time. We're gonna go right back into the action, guys. Nano boost on to Mezer.
That's right. And so far, USA bouncing back from that kind of wipe from the Deadeye, and it looks like they're going to keep pushing the payload. Miro, though, causing a bit of trouble, as he often does. South Korea taking up a position on the payload for the moment here. Tailspin gets a kill, though, into Tyrong, and South Korea just continues to be pushed back.
Yeah, USA started that fight coming in with more ultimates after the wipe, so they go ahead and commit several of them right there, and now they're going to keep on pushing them up into the top part of the bridge, and they should be able to push all the way to point 2 with a very fast time.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, they did lose Tailspin. Actually, South Korea taking a huge fight right now. It looks like Arhan was able to clean a lot of them up, so South Korea will barely hold at the very end. Miro playing with fire here. Everybody likes to jump over the bottomless pit, apparently, on South Korea.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
But big ult advantage for the USA. They've got 3 up, another couple on their supports, close to being full right now.
Yeah.
And it's a long time for a nano boost. So Korea has to shut down the nano boost to target from the USA. So it's all about Seagull right now, keeping eyes on him. He's probably going to be the one to receive the on-ult with the Dragon Blade, try and make the big play.
All right, Eska's got that Deadeye up again, so maybe we'll see if he grabs another one. He pops the Deadeye. Let's see what he can pick out. They try to combine it, rather, with the Graviton Surge, and that actually does lead to a big team fight for South Korea yet again.
That's huge. And this is South Korea. They knew which ultimates were available. They were trying to shut down Seagull, so they just go ahead and throw out at least a Zarya ultimate that doesn't look very good at first. It only catches Seagull, but that combined with Miro's damage and the inability for the Genji to reflect the lightning gun means they get the important kill and they get more time. But USA still has a long, long time to work with.
I love that view we just saw. We can see South Korea spread out nicely, trying to see where the US is coming from. Tailspin going in now. They're going to come from the right side. Tyrong in a lot of trouble on that Lucio. Gotta watch out. The pulse bomb there as well. Meanwhile, the Dragon Blade pulled out. Oh, I think they nano boosted the Lucio. Oh, and Tailspin trying to find a place for that pulse bomb. USA, though, still picking up the kills so far. Mezzer gets one onto Eska at the end. And finally, the nano boost goes down onto Miro. Tyrong pops the ultimate as well on Lucio, but I think it's a bit too late. Maybe South Korea, they don't look like they can stop the US.
Well, they got the Primal Rage now, so they're just buying as much time as they can. Pulse bomb goes down.
Oh, and that's getting back to the moon.
That is 6 ults used by the USA on that push right there because they made certain mistakes that made that push a little bit less effective. So Korea now going to have a chance to reset Deadeye almost back up. We'll see if they can defend for any longer. They're sort of just delaying as long as they possibly can. There's the cap, though. Okay. 3 full minutes. America's got a lot of time to work.
Yeah, they really do. South Korea taking the time that it takes the payload to batter down through the door to set up this defense, but Tailspin not really giving them much of a break as he is being really annoying on that Tracer. Has the pulse bomb again already. South Korea is going to need a miracle to defend here.
All right, well, Seagull.
Or just Arhan. Maybe they just need him.
They actually did get Seagull during the Dragon Blade there, so not an effective use of the Genji ultimate. They are going to push them back through the doors, and Zarya gets hit by a sleep dart, immediately revived, and then taken down. Arhan with the "You are not prepared" tag.
You are not prepared.
So USA, nice ult bank though. Their ult economy in a good place besides Seagull. They've got just the world to work with right here. 2 minutes of time and a very short distance to push this payload.
That's right. Stir's been doing great on this Ana so far. Looking for another nano boost target. Ideally, it won't be Lucio this time around. As the US tries to push 5 out of 6 ults ready to go.
And it's very important that USA gets this right. Maywall
good Maywall. Stir. Yeah, he's not going to be able to nano boost right away. Meanwhile, Dragon Blade pulled out for South Korea. Arhan needs to come out big. Tyrong goes down though. Tailspin trying to make a difference on that Tracer. The Blizzard used by South Korea as well. Eska had swapped over to that Mei. It's a pretty even fight, but it's enough of a win for South Korea that they will hold for now.
Wow, huge commitment from USA. The only person not to use their ultimate was Stir with that nano boost. He couldn't use it. He lost line of sight thanks to the Maywall. And that meant South Korea had that 5v6, or 6v5 rather, coming into the point, and they clean it up, drop what they can. But it's 1 ult to 1 ult right now. Korea has stabilized on the defense.
All right, this is a dangerous moment now for the US. There's only about a minute left, and those Maywalls are causing a lot of problems. And if they can't do it with 5 ults, I'd be a little bit worried if I were them. There's a sound barrier for South Korea, as the US did try to push in there. God's now moving in on the Zarya. South Korea maybe pushed a bit too far up. They are really clumped up right now. Miro has to back away. So low. The nano boost does go down onto the Winston for the US. We'll see what Mezzer can get done. He's got that Primal Rage. He's going to pop it. Going after South Korea now. And can he get
gets
anything?
Aron.
Oh, getting Aron is a big deal. That Genji out of the way means the U.S. can dive in, and there's Seagull with the Dragon Blade. Let's see what he can pick up. Takes out Jaehoon, going for another one. He's been hit by the Bionic Grenade, though, so he will go down. Tailspin, though, does get Eska in the back lines, and South Korea has to fall back. The U.S. might be able to get it right here. Can they do it? Can they take Eichenwald? There's a big Graviton Surge coming in for the U.S., but they need Tailspin to do more. He gets pinned. He gets taken out. Miro on the Reinhardt now, and South Korea fighting back. Miro's got the Earth Shattered with that Blizzard. They might be able to hold it. They're pushing up. They've only got the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, they have the last 10 seconds, and they have an Earth Shatter for one of these doors. Can they get the CC? Gonna try and get in, or Seagull's gonna get Earth Shattered. He goes
They
down.
got him. And the wave from Miro as the U.S.'s hopes go away, and that is it. South Korea will take Eichenwald, and they will take the 2-0.
Yeah, wow, that was a very close ending to that game.
kidding.
Korea holding strong. The USA, that last fight, the Stir getting walled off, absolutely huge. They dumped the rest of their ultimates. That was their entire ult economy, and they just couldn't get enough of an advantage back to push through.
Man, that really was about as close as you could get it. That Maywall was the moment that the match turned around.
Yeah.
And what a match it was, man. And what a better time to tweet and hashtag that T-Mobile MVP, because we got a lot to choose from, I think. There were awesome plays on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely, Doa, absolutely. So Korea will be advancing into the semifinals. USA, unfortunately, their time here at the Overwatch World Cup has ended.
Miro just looks so happy, which is so out of sorts with the way you see him jump on people with Winston. It's terrible. So, to break down that match a bit more, let's send it back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Doa and Monty. Phenomenal job.